It's a great day here at KEKFILA's YouTube channel. I am the Doflamingo KEKFILA, and today I'm bringing you round 1 of 10 of the core TCG regional. I'm going to be putting this in ×2 speed now. Just some commentary of the game, and I might skip through some parts of it. My first opponent is from Canada, and I want to say a big shout out to this guy. He's a Chad. If you see at the very bottom right, he actually has a second webcam so you can see his hand. And he already has like a regional finalist. This is my first round opponent. I'm kind of not exactly the most calm when I see a regional finalist with my first round opponent, but you never know. So I do want to say a big shout out to him. He fucking did me a solid. I forgot to report round 1. He reported it. That would have been a double loss if I didn't. So I'm going to send him 10 loser Dawn. If you guys remember my last video, if you like and subscribe and leave a comment, if we get over 400 subs, we'll give out 10 loser Dawn. I'm going to send him that as a huge thank you. And I'll now, without further ado, let's get into the game. He is playing Zoro. I am playing Doflamingo. And he has some awesome sleeve he has on an Etsy. I'll have to get that and put that in the description. So stay following around for those comments. Okay. We're just kind of going through the pregame stuff. First round's about to start. We're probably a little late into it because of all the BS. But we're just trying to get to know each other a little bit and have a little bit of fun. But I win the dice roll. No, he wins the dice roll and decides to go second. That was a little shocking. I was like, well, okay, we'll see how that goes. It's honestly really good for me. So we both mulligan. I mulligan and get a Perona. And honestly, pretty solid here. Pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with that. And I organize my deck in such a way where I can play the game. So he ends up playing Izo, turn 1, getting a Whitebeard Pirates. And what do you know? He plays down a buggy, getting a guard point. So pretty good turn for him, honestly. I see this pre-release on this buggy. I'm like, geez. I just do my turn. I throw that down, and we're just fine. And he actually hits out of life a Whitebeard Pirate. So he actually gets a pretty good value trigger out of that. So, but I get the Jinbei out of life, out of the top of the deck, so I can bottom deck something if I want to. Just depends on what I want to do. He's at 4 Dawn now. And going on to this 4 Dawn turn. He swings 5 of the Jinbei, and I kind of just say, nope, I'll give you a Jinbei. He plays down the Teach, Marshall D. Teach. Pretty solid. This card's so frustrating. I didn't think you would play this card right away. Maybe I thought maybe one more turn. I would have 3,000 Worlds'd it, but I would mess up the top of my deck royally if I didn't swing with leader. So I contemplated, do I 3,000 Worlds this? Or do I... But I can't risk my stack, and I can't bluff a Love Mellow. There's no point. So I go 7 at lead. I think he takes that one, and then I go 7 lead again. He takes that as well. Goes to a very, very, very large hand. I do get this Gecko Mori out, so my board is large and in charge. I do have some 2K counters in hand. I'm just thinking about what my play is. My opponent's board's honestly pretty massive, but he might clear my board this turn. So he actually starts with the Gordon. He bottom decks that. He's going to -3 to the Gecko Mariah. He says swings 4 at the Gecko Mariah. I just say you could have it. That's going to die regardless. He has 3 more attacks coming. So he ends up going 4. Actually, 5 at lead. I give him a 1K counter. And I kind of want to stay high in health here. I want to be able to, I'm going to remove his board this next turn. And he's going to play slow. I have to play it slow the next turn because I'm just going to 3,000 Worlds on this next go around and see exactly what happens. So he thinks here exactly. He obviously can KO his Izo. He has 2 Dawn active. He goes 8 at lead. I kind of question. I thought it was 9. Now I'm like, I'm taking it regardless. If it's 8 or 9, whatever. I'm taking 1 damage this turn. So and he ends up having 2 Dawn still active. So not sure how that worked out, but I probably could have swung bigger with the Izo. So obviously bigger things. So I kind of spaced my Dawn out here. I definitely need to get rid of this Teach. And I go 7. I go 10th to use the top deck of the skill, and I get a Gecko Maria. Pretty juice. I had nothing else to do with extra Dawn. He ends up countering out of that and bottom decking, killing that, and I bottom deck that, getting rid of it regardless. So now I know you guys don't see his life here, which I guess that can be very frustrating, but I know he is at 2 life. He should be at 2 life, because, well, maybe he's at 3 life. I don't know. He's hurting. At the very worst, he's hurting. I think he actually might be at 2. He's at 2 life. That's right. He's hurting pretty bad. He swings 8 at the Gecko. Apparently I don't have the counter to do anything about it. But essentially, he is kind of forced to do the most boring turn ever, and I have a Mihawk coming. I believe I have a Mihawk coming. That's why I was guarding out so early. But we'll see. He ends up actually only paying 4. He gets another one of those out. Yep, I got rid of that. Okay, I remember this now. It makes sense. So I'm like, well, I'm going to swing 5k at your leader. And he goes, I'll give you a 1k. I'll bottom deck the Teach. He's like, yep, sounds fair. Go ahead. He goes to his 10 Dawn turn. He thinks here for a moment. Obviously, his board's pretty wiped. He swings 7 at me. I go now to 6 cards in hand with this. He actually needed to quickly mess with his dog there, so he took a 2-minute break. He plays the blocker Marco, and he plays the Ezo, getting that 2 life. That blocker Marco is active. With that Ezo, he ends up searching out, and he looks forward. He grabs the Marco attacker, and again, he has 3 Dawn only, so he ends up playing a Whitebeard Pirates, and I believe he gets a blocker. Great, that's cool. And now he has 2 Dawn left over, and I'm like, you gonna play the blocker, yeah? And he's like, stop reading my mind. His hand, honestly, massive at this time. Like, Zoro has this big of a hand. He throws out another Whitebeard Pirate. He's just basically building a hand now. And I was asking, is that your 4th Whitebeard Pirate? It's only his 3rd. So he thinks here for a moment. He blaze down, grabs another one of these little blockers. I don't know why these took over. And I go to my turn. I'm on my 10 Dawn turn now. And I'm thinking, what do? Do I have enough Dawn to do this, do that? So I go 6 at his leader. And I go 9 at his leader. He is going to block this and discard a Marco. And then I decide to play a Pacifista and then play a Girly here to draw a card. It looks like I'm digging at this point, right? Or begging him to KO something. So I'm digging at this point. He can't really do a lot of damage to me because I have 2 blockers out. My main thing is I really don't want him to be able to kill my Mihawk if he tries to go for something really froggy here. So he ends up throwing 1 Dawn on his leader, swings 5 at lead, and I make a mistake here, but actually I made the right choice. So I first counter out for 1k. I should have blocked and then countered out because I can get a draw, but then he'd be able to attack at my Boa maybe for more. So he swings 6 at leader, and this allows me to do the cool thing. I block, I draw, and I use a 2k counter. So that was pretty awesome. I was like, wow, I'm really proud of myself for that. I actually didn't even think of that interaction for the longest time. So, because I used to think it would be worth it. Oh, he goes 7 at the Boa. Now I can block out of that and play a Pacifista. So I'm able to, again, work on controlling his board. And he's giving me something to attack at. He plays another little blocker there. So I go to my next turn here, and it looks like I have at least an idea of putting this Dawn together. I play a Doflamingo 3-cost, and I get that blocker up, and it looks like I was really looking for one of those. So I get the blocker. I check top 5 cards of the deck. I was looking for a card. I was able to finally drag one up. And then I 9k first at his Zoro character. And he just blocks it. Right? Just blocks it. And then I'm thinking, well, I can go... He has 1 Dawn up for Rad Beam. What am I doing? I'm just mathing this out. Like, well, I should just think I need to put him on guard point instead. So, I swing 8 and I get 1 card. I get the Gecko Mori, and I grab a Mihawk out of that. I go 8 at his Zoro character. And he has to think here for a moment. He still has the Marco blocker, and he lets that die because I still have 2 big attackers. So then I go 6 into Izo, drawing 1. Because I do get that Pog draw. He lets that die, and then I just go 8 again into leader so he can't guard point. But he can still block and ditch any card. Oh, he just takes it. He's kind of in a very rough spot here at this point. So he first just plays out the Dan. Dan grabs a buggy. The buggy grabs a guard point. And from here, he's contemplating what he needs to do. I'm at 3 health. I have a healthy hand. My board's too wide for him to kill, and I have a blocker. Honestly, just putting him in an impossible situation. That's kind of what we do. He decides to Fire Fist. He kills the Boa Hancock and the blocker. Honestly, a super good Fire Fist, and it looks like he discards the guard point, and then he swings 5 at lead. So he really didn't have a lot to do there. He still has 1 Dawn active, 1 health, 1 blocker, and I have to think about this. I don't need to kill him, right? This is silly. So I put 1 Dawn on my Gecko Moria because Fire Fist can actually KO it. So then I play 3, paying 1. I play out this Doflamingo, organize it any way I want in that order with the top of the deck, and he decides to take it. He Red Hawks. Oh, he Red Hawks and kills that. Okay, so that's good. I guess he had more than 1 Dawn active. And then I go 6k at leader. I still have 5 Dawn left. He gives me a guard point, and then I do another 7k at leader. He takes. Oh no, he gives me his last guard point. Okay. And then I go with my Bartholomew Kuma. A little strange way he isn't blocking with his Marco and then discarding the cards, but especially on the very last attack. But I guess he really wanted to use that guard point. He places down a Marco here. He swings with the Dan. I just counter out simply. He swings with Buggy. I do another counter simple out. Oh, actually, I take this one. This comes out. I take it. He swings with his blocker Marco. I take it, basically saying I don't care. He has 0 life. I'm just gonna mess with him here. I go 5. He guards it. I go 5. Yeah, it's all it really is. I was gonna kill his field to be BM, but that's the guy was really nice, and I know it's hard to lose in the first round, but at least he's not like, I don't know, salty about it. But he ended up coming back and going 7-3 actually in this tournament. Not bubbling in like me, you know, but I'm glad. I'm happy he went 7-3 after this first loss, because that probably put me up there. So appreciate it again, brother. I will be sending you that loser Dawn, and I'll see you all in the next video. Ciao.